1945, the war had encircled the globe. From the steppes of Siberia and the skies over Europe to the islands of the Pacific, battle lines surged toward a single point, Japan. Amphibious assaults leapt across the ocean. Soviet armies rolled through
It's summer 1945. While the Pacific War ground on, Hiroshima sat at the heart of Japan's military command in the southwest, its rivers carving a map of industry and barracks. Bombing raids had reached nearly every major city, yet here the streets still held order.
Behind locked doors and drawn blinds, American scientists labored in secret. Equations whispered across chalkboards, circuits warmed with hidden currents, and steel shells took shape under showers of sparks. Piece by piece, they assembled a device unlike any the world had seen, compressing...
Verdun, Tinian Island, August 6, 1945. Inside the nose of the B-29, nicknamed the Enola Gay, the crew prepares for a mission unlike any flown before. Colonel Paul Tibbets guides the 4 throttles forward, the engines responding with a low, powerful rumble that vibrates through the airframe.
In the summer of 1945, one silver giant rolled out onto the coral runway of Tinian. Its name was painted in black on the polished nose, Enola Gay. She was a B-29 superfortress, built for long reaches over the Pacific, fitted with the most secret cargo ever developed.
In the summer of 1944, the Manhattan Project sketched an audacious solution: force 2 pieces of uranium-235 together faster than they could blow themselves apart. They called it a gun-type assembly. Simple in concept, brutal in execution. A hollow cylinder, a cylindrical projectile, a channel to slam the...
Morning breaks over the Delta City. Smoke from breakfast fires curls in a wind that smells of salt and river mud. Streetcars hum across the bridges, their bells scattering sparrows. Fishermen push off from the banks, and shopkeepers sweep yesterday's dust into the gutter. On the quays,
midway through its descent, Little Boy arms itself. A breach mechanism slides a subcritical slug of uranium-235 into the barrel. Ahead sits a matching target of the same fissile metal. When the barometric switch senses the proper altitude, the firing circuit is enabled. A conventional explosive will...
10 seconds to 08:15. 9. The bay doors are open. 8. The clouds ripple beneath us. 7. A city waits, unaware. 6. 5. The trigger clicks. 4. The bomb drops free. 3. 2.
Velocity, just under 300 miles an hour. At this height, just under 300 miles an hour. At this height, when the casing ruptures, the shockwave will reach out 3/4 of a mile in every direction, flattening everything inside the ring. Heat will carry even farther. Windows shatter at 4,000 feet. Roofs peel away beyond...
In a fraction of a second, the bomb releases a sphere of light brighter than the sun. Temperatures inside the fireball climb to over 100 million degrees Celsius. The air itself turns to plasma, boiling away the clouds as it expands. Within moments, the city below is bathed in...
In the first instant, there is no shape, only light. A light so fierce it turns midnight to noon and washes the world to bone-white silence. It burns the air clear, carves shadows sharper than blades, and collapses the eye to a pin, even as it...
Front moves faster than sound, glazing the facades before the noise arrives. Glass fails first, sprayed outward by the sudden rise in internal pressure. Steel and concrete flex a moment longer, then shear. Gravity does the rest. Floors collapse in sequence, each adding weight to the one below.
In the instant the fire rolled down the street, they had no warning. A mother tightened her grip. A teenager froze. A man reached out as if he could hold back the light. The first seconds took more than breath. They tore away futures. Before the smoke had time to rise.
From the epicenter, the first 50 meters are obliterated in milliseconds. Within 150 meters, concrete walls fracture and steel twists under a pressure spike of over 20 pounds per square inch. At half a kilometer, roofs peel away and glass becomes shrapnel.
It began as a point of blinding light, brighter than the sun itself. In less than a heartbeat, the air over Hiroshima ignited and rose. This column is nearly 10 kilometers tall. The cap spreads wider than the entire city beneath it. What you see billowing outward is not just vapor, but shattered stone.
What was once a busy city hums now with silence. Twisted rebar and blistered steel lean like broken bones out of the earth. Cars or cages peeled open and hollow. Street signs lie face, down in the dust, their names scorched but still whispering the map of a place that isn't here anymore. The clock stopped at a...
When a city's streets burn in unison, the flames don't simply consume, they create. Heat lifts the air in towering columns, drawing in winds from every direction. The rush feeds the fire, and the fire feeds the rush, until an entire district becomes a single furnace.
Smoke curled off the water like wounded ghosts. The river carried roofs, timbers, and memories, all drifting toward the sea. People came to its edge with cracked lips and trembling hands, drawn by the one thing that still moved. Some cupped the water in their palms, others...
Tonight, the hallways are full. Cots spill into corridors, machines hum in time with hurried footsteps. Every bed holds a story, sometimes whispered, sometimes groaned. Staff move with practiced calm, crossing paths like clockwork gears, patching wounds, trading charts, finding space.
3 hours after the blast, smoke still clung to the street. A watch lay where it had fallen, its hands frozen at 3:18. 4 hours in, survivors gathered what they could carry. First crews cut through the wreckage, calling out names that vanished in the haze. By the 5th hour, the injured filled the impromptu.
In the summer of 1914, war erupted in Europe. Within weeks, casualty figures trickled in. 70,000 British, 75,000 French, 80,000 German, over 200,000 combined on the Western Front. Headlines soon exaggerated.
Months after exposure, the body still carries the memory of the blast. The skin thins, blood vessels lie closer to the surface, and pigment fades in irregular islands. Capillaries become fragile, leaving the hands and feet susceptible to painful fissures and swelling. Each survivor tells a different story.
After the blasts, the city holds its breath. Streets once alive echo only with the whisper of wind through hollow buildings. Smoke drifts like ghosts over broken stone and twisted steel. Time itself seems to have stopped, frozen in the moment the silence fell. And in that silence, the weight...
Ground zero. From this point, the blast wave races outward at supersonic speed. Within half a mile, most structures are erased, shown here in dark gray. Just beyond, heat climbs above 1800 degrees Fahrenheit. Anything exposed will ignite or burn in seconds. The pale date.
At first, only static, a broken wire on the edge of the Empire. Then the crack of a distant voice, frantic through the handset. The men leaned closer, breath held over the creased map of the Pacific. Names of ships, explosions, smoke, then...
When the blast lit the harbor sky, the world awoke to a new chapter of history. Newspapers thundered across continents, headlines screaming of unimaginable power. In plazas and alleys, people crowded around glowing screens, faces etched with disbelief. Governments convened in urgent councils, allies.
After years of total war, Japan stood on the edge of ruin. Cities lay in ashes, her people exhausted, her fleet scattered. 2 atomic bombs fell from the sky, and the unimaginable became real. In the palace at Tokyo, Emperor Hirohito put pen to paper and chose to...
At 11:02 a.m., over the port city of Nagasaki, the second atomic bomb blossomed into a white sun. 3 days earlier, Hiroshima had been the first, its destruction intended as a warning. When Japan did not surrender, the mission continued west. The fireball over Nagasaki...
On the 15th day of August, 1945, the voice of an emperor echoed across a weary nation. From a small studio in Tokyo, Emperor Hirohito spoke calmly into a single microphone, announcing Japan's acceptance of the Allied terms and the end of a devastating war.
The city lay silent, its heart of brick and steel turned to bone and ash. Yet in these empty streets, in the twisted iron and the dust of homes, a heartbeat remained. Recovery would not be counted in days or months, but in generations.
In the years just after the war, the mystery of the atom migrated from the battlefield to the benchtop. Here, with instruments still warm from the effort of victory, researchers measured the invisible. Each crackle on the Geiger dial marked a particle born in the nucleus. In the cloud chamber...
In these streets, the echoes of collapse still cling to the walls. Stones remember the night they fell. But hands have returned, scarred, steady, laying brick upon brick, raising steel into the gray. Saplings take root where fire once burned. New tracks hum, markets hum.
For them, survival was only the beginning. Decades later, the echoes still live in their lungs, in their bones, in the lines around their eyes. Some manage on oxygen, others count out pills every morning, or lean on canes that replace the strength swallowed long.
Standing alone beside the river, this shattered frame of brick and steel once held the hum of a busy hall. In an instant, it became witness to unfathomable fire. The dome no longer shelters a roof or walls, it shelters memory.
In the wake of the blasts, new lives arrived, delicate, resilient, altered by forces they never met. Small hands that reach for blocks, crayons, and comfort. Feet that learn to balance with help from steel and plastic. Hearts that beat in quiet defiance.
Each light drifts into the dark, a small courage on the water. Inked prayers, names, and remembers fold into the paper, fragile yet enduring. We let them go not to forget, but to carry forward the memory of those we lost. The river holds them for a while until the
Each August 6th, as lanterns touch the river and the bell carries across the park, Hiroshima leans into memory. The hands that fold cranes, that release doves, that hold photographs worn thin with years, remind us that remembrance is not passive, it is an act of mourning, of warning.
Here, in the heart of a city once reduced to ashes, hands rebuild with quiet resolve. Timber is raised, stone is set, water is calmed into a mirror. Every beam, every carved letter carries more than weight. It carries memory, not only for this place, but for all places.
In the anxious years after the Second World War, rockets thundered skyward and the mushroom cloud became a dark icon of progress. Yet behind the noise of the arms race, diplomats from East, West, and the newly independent South began to write a different future. In
1945, the world met the first plutonium bomb, crude, heavy, and devastating. 7 years later, thermonuclear fire was born, and the sky lit with clouds that could erase cities. By the 60s, bombs were larger and rockets carried them across oceans. Soon, one missile...
In the shadow of the dome, the leaders of our time walk where ashes once drifted. They pause, not as rivals, but as witnesses. Paper cranes ripple across the reflecting pool, carrying the memory of lives lost. Here, silence speaks louder than any speech. From this place of...
I remember the sky turning white. It was morning, and then nothing. When I woke, the world was fire. My mother was gone, my little brother too. Only the wind carried their voices. Even now...
August 6th, the day the world changed more than once. On this date in 1945, over Hiroshima, a single bomb blossomed into a new age of terror. 20 years later, in 1965, pens scratched history as the Voting Rights Act became law, and footsteps on the Edmund Pettus...
Along these quiet waters once swept by fire, the dome stands, emptied yet unbowed. Decades have passed. Hands once trembled now fold paper birds for children. Trams hum where ash once drifted. Bubbles rise, fragile and fearless. Within the arch of
future. In the summer of 1945, a single flash erased a city and shook the conscience of the world. What remained was silence, and the knowledge that we had found a way to end ourselves. Hiroshima is more than a wound.
From above, the city seems quiet. Rivers curling through streets, commuters crossing bridges, children chasing one another beneath trees. Yet woven into these avenues is a memory so powerful it reshaped the world. Hiroshima stands as a testament that destruction can give way to renewal, and that peace is...